Hello and welcome to some more Dyson Sphere Program. I'm going to launch the game straight off. Get straight into it. Crack on. Not that I quite remember where we are, but let's get going. We got in about 15 minutes ago or so, so sorry if I'm a bit panicked, a bit sort of discombobulated, but yeah, let's crack on. I did do a little bit during the week, which mainly involved coming up with a few more blueprints. I didn't do quite as much as I thought I might. Have I got... Yeah, I've got some stuff on me. So basically now we have... I actually plugged this... This was already here, this one. But I plugged it in and it's running. So it's got stone and stone brick. It doesn't have stone brick in. Why has it not got stone brick in? Because those aren't set. So no, it doesn't have stone brick in. It will have in a moment. That's probably an error in the blueprint then, to be honest with you. Yes, so there's one there with stone brick in it. What else have we got? There's one over here. This had magnets in it. I can't remember whether we did this on stream or not. Wow, okay. Bitrate's gone all to pants. No, it seems okay there on the actual channel. Let's have a look. Stramanager says it's okay. So why is OBS saying it's pants? Interesting. Well, if it's okay on the stream, then that's fine. But I was having some... I say I've only just kind of loaded up and booted it up and all that sort of stuff. So it was being a bit weird. I think because the Rockstar launcher was kicking about. I downloaded more for me. I bought the Definitive Trilogy Edition thing, you know, GTA's 3s and etc. etc. And so I was hit with the whole, whoops, we've made a complete mess of this, so we're just going to turn it off because that's how software works apparently. So yeah, it was on just to see, it apparently came back. And it immediately started downloading some gigantic updates, which is presumably them taking out hot coffee and all that sort of stuff. How the hell they made that big a mess of things, I don't know. But there you go. Copper was obviously already here, although I don't think it was running. But it is here and it's doing its thing. So that's just... Oh, here we go. Again, I think I put this in last time. But it wasn't really running. But this is the, you know, the cogs and the iron. Excuse me. So here we go. This is the new one. This is properly new. And this is steel. So this is... Oh, it's gone back up again then. That's all over the place. Yes, this is steel, which is different ratios basically because, you know, different numbers essentially because... It's a different recipe. 3 to 1, but takes 3 seconds. So you can support more machines, but you get the same stuff out, basically. So it's a lot bigger. And obviously that's set to 3001. But yeah, it's basically... so the idea... It's not... This isn't... You can do it you know, self-fulfilling, as in you can have the iron going into steel ones, and that's what I've done before. But this is just on its own, so it needs to order in the iron plate. I think that's kind of it. Let's have a look in the blueprint book. So I've done that one, I showed you that one. Was magnets here before? I'm not sure if magnets was here before, and I'm not actually sure where it is. So that's the iron and the... That's copper. That's stone. Maybe I haven't left the magnets one here. Because they should all be around this area. Did I just leave magnets on its own? There is a very easy way of testing, because I've left drones in all of them. I can't see it. No, that's the stone. Ah, there we go. There's the magnets. So it's the opposite direction. So let's just go and have a look at the magnets. As I say, I'm not fully sure I remember which ones I've done new. I didn't do too many. I did sort of a couple of them, so most of them have been on stream, and it's basically exactly the same thing. Only obviously magnets. Magnets are made directly from the iron ore, so I don't know. Maybe the bit I don't really understand. It's like a docked panel, and it says the like the FPS, but maybe it means the game FPS. Again, a lot of missed frames due to rendering lag. 3%, basically. But then it says the bitrate is fine. Oh, hi Grim. How you doing? How's your Monday been? If you'll have to let me know if the stream is the stream choppy or anything. It seems to be struggling to sort of render the stream basically, and I'm not entirely sure why. I've not changed any settings, but I was having some weirdness basically. Anyway, we'll just plough on. But so I was just going through the blueprint book. So I've added a few more things to the blueprint. So what we kind of really need to do now is the next ones, which are... Because the other thing I did during the week, I went and flew back and forth a couple of times to the planet with the titanium on it and silicon. So I've stocked them up, basically. Not that we're doing any research anymore, but... good, thanks. Just logged on. Maybe a little thing you need to look at your title. Oh, I didn't change it. Thank you very much. This one was a real rush setting this up, so I'm not even doing... Oh, it's not even Factorio, is it? Let's build our Dyson Sphere. I even actually tweeted from work. Thank you very much. Oh, why are you not... For letting me know. I guess the go live notifications are relevant now, isn't it? I'll just put Dyson Sphere. Oh, what are you doing there? And then we need to be category Dyson Sphere. That was Iron. Let's put a Dyson Sphere. There we go, that's better. Is that right? Dyson Sphere Program. Yeah, okay. My day's been rubbish, to be honest with you. Not in a sort of unpleasant way, but in a not really achieving anything kind of way. My company's been insisting. Well, they sent out an email. I think I've moaned about this before, but they sent out an email basically telling us we all had to do a day in the office a week. And quite why, no one is entirely sure. To be totally frank. And today was my day in the office. Or I'd like to do, on Monday, basically almost to get it out of the way. But I was, the only one in the office, basically. And it's like, I don't understand the thinking, because it's kind of like... The email they sent out was all, for your mental health and all that sort of stuff, and team working and all that sort of stuff. And then, as I say, there's no effort to coordinate the teams. So my team is clearly decided, or the individual... I know the individuals in the team, there's not many of us, have decided to do different days because they're the most convenient days for them to come in. So there is no team for me to coordinate with. So what's the point in us, being forced to come a day in the office if we're all just going to be sat in the office on our own for a day? Doesn't seem to bear any scrutiny. And it's particularly annoying because they seem to be going the way of being like really relaxed about people coming back. You know, it seemed to be we were probably going to move to basically being a remote company. And then suddenly there's this email saying, no, everyone's got to be in the office for a day. Okay. But we're not going to do anything to, you know, coordinate or anything like that. We're just going to insist that you come in for a day. So it's basically, I mean, it's not a lot of petrol, but it's pointless petrol burning. For absolutely no reason. I guess I get technically free coffee because I can use the office coffee rather than my own coffee. But as perks go, that's pretty thin. We need a bit of space, basically, I'm looking for. To try and... let's go over here. Let's go over here. We need to basically come up with the next couple of blueprints for stuff, which is going to be... Oh, the game is a bit stuttery, isn't it? Maybe that's what it's complaining about. So today, DSP, basically I'm going to do more blueprints. So we may get to, because I think we're probably at the stage where we've made some interstellar ones. I was just going to see if the machines are still running. Not up there, are they? Where is it all? That's just... Here we go. So it's over here somewhere. So if the machines have kind of stopped running, because I don't think I can look in the chest. Where are we going? So this is... Here we go. Oh. So stop running. But stop running because this is empty. This isn't producing anything. Oh, have we run out of copper? It's a very small amount of copper. Oh, it's all going into this earlier stuff, I think, isn't it? What little we're producing... Oh, crikey. That's virtually done. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure we have produced some interstellar ones. So hopefully we'll get... like the titanium being automatically shipped now. That's kind of where I want to get to. But I want to build a couple of the more basic ones. I didn't quite get as much time to play during the week as I was hoping. Oh, well, that is to say I played other things. So I want to set up magnetic coils. Maybe plasma, but that means fiddling about with glass and stuff, which is another sort of recipe tree, really. But yeah, I want to set up magnetic coils and electric motors, I think. Because the tricky thing with them is that they need quite a lot of ingredients. So we have the option of doing, two two logistics things, or using international. I'm going to keep doing that. Interstellar ones. But yeah, so we'll work that out. So it's magnetic coils we want to do, basically. Was it the warp thing is the delivery bots needed for getting to other systems? Yes, so basically to get to other solar systems that you need to have researched the warp stuff. So these guys, well, that's an alternate way of getting them, but is it in here? Yeah, here we go. So you need these guys to get to other solar systems. But if you're doing internally within... you can have them anyway. And you can set it so that they use them. Because you can have a short distance before they use the space warpers. But you don't actually need them for inter-solar system. So in order to get the titanium in, we don't actually need them. We'll just need them if and when we go to another another solar system. And I think I've pretty much decided that I am just going to use this as a starter solar system, and then we'll go off to another, another solar system to actually build the Dyson Sphere. Partly just because that sounds like an interesting way of doing it, really. Right, so we need to make magnets. So if we plop that there, and then I do my little trick, put in, I think it's there. I did also figure out you can sort of overlap blueprints, but only belts. So I've got these extension ones, like this, and I can then tile them. But you see how it's got a power, a power pole basically on one side but not the other. That's because the belts will connect. See the belts go longer. In fact, I could just build that. So it lets me build overlap belts, but it wouldn't let me overlap any other structure. So we can extend this, as much as we need type of thing with belts, but nothing else basically. Which I think that's what I was saying at the weekend. It's a bit sort of a bit strange, bit of a strange decision if you ask me, but I'm sure they had some kind of logic to it. Oh, what I was going to check. So I've been trying to make them all look similar. No, I've got those in wrong place. Okay, so these need to be, oops, one further out. They don't need to be, but so it needs to be there. And on there. What have I done there? In fact, that blueprint's wrong, I think, isn't it? Because you're... I think that other blueprint might be wrong. Oh well. Right, so, yes. If we end up with magnets coming in that way... not magnetic coils, whatever it calls them. What does that look like? So, if that's them... So, produce 2 of those. We need 2 magnets and 1 copper. Okay. But they only... Wait, it takes 1 second for 2. Okay. 1 second for 2. Because this only transports... But I've boosted that, haven't I? Haven't I? Oh no, Mark 3. Okay, so it only boosts the Mark 3. Okay, that's interesting. But either way, it'll only carry 1.5 a second. Obviously, this is only a level 1 machine anyway. Useful tip. Yeah. I might go offset with this. Would that work? So if I did... Because I'm just thinking, ideally we want 2 inserters, really. Because obviously this would upgrade at some point. But if we offset... Wait, what are you doing? And we should be able to... What's happened there? It does get confusing with the inserters on this game. Yeah, so that should be okay. In terms of... Oh. Why aren't you letting me put it next to... Huh. Why is that not next to it? Hang on. Because if that's... Is that as close as you can let me put it? I guess we're quite high up. Yeah, we're quite high up, aren't we? Okay. So what does... oh. No? Oh, it's shift click, isn't it? Getting me controls all muddled up. Yeah. That's not ideal. I could do them like that. I think that's too many anyway, isn't it? Because if they're making... I mean, I need to adjust for the machine speed, but if they're making 2 each and it only transports 6, we can only support 3 machines anyway, but say with the 75%, so it's kind of 4 machines anyway. Okay. So if we put that there, and then chop off that bit of belt. Still in Factorio mode, yeah, very much so. I was quite happy with how far we got, or I got, I suppose. Like, well, at the weekend. Almost thinking that, you know, it's not beyond the possibility that we might actually do the achievement almost without trying, in a sense. How many tiles is that over? That's 4, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Because I was a bit, I say... No, I've put it. So actually those need to be the other way around. Oh, should have just done one. Okay. Yeah, I was a bit sort of surprised at quite how far we got. And that was with me, you know, what I did with the steel took ages, really, when you think about it. No, I've done it again. Yeah, I'm trying to do Control V. That's why it's doing... Because in this game, that means like paste a blueprint rather than, you know, paste what you've just copied sort of thing. Okay, so these are outputting magnets, so we need to bring in magnets and so copper and let's do it this way. We need to bring in copper and you know, the magnetic pole things, but we need 2 of those every second. Okay, yeah, that'll be fine, I think. Because we can have 1 coming out here. Why are you not connecting? 1 coming out here. Like that. And then 1 coming out here. Oh, no, pole's in the way. It's going to be a bit ugly, isn't it? Oh, I'm not a fan of that. What does this... How would this work if we brought that in. Can I put it there? Yeah, okay. I hit the no time for chit chat. Yeah, I'd say I think that's certainly, you know, doable with even with all the, you know, slowness. You got tile in your eye, crikey. That's from work, I assume. You mean actual, you know, like ceramic tile? Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. So is that connected? Yeah. Right. That's one too many, isn't it? Concrete roof tile, crikey. Feels all gritty at 5 in the morning. Blimey. Because she's telling me, I mean, you're a chippy, I think you said, carpenter. Oh. So let me think about this, because if it's only going to transport 1.5 a second, but these are at level, these are 0.75, aren't they? Yeah. So effectively it only needs 0.75 a second, so one inserter at level 1 will be okay. But I need 2. No, 1 will be okay for that as well. Because it's 0.75 times... Do I need 2? So if this is the magnets... Because it needs 2 every second, but it's only going to run up 0.75. So it's 2 times 0.75, which is 1.5 a second. And that's exactly what that transports. Yeah, okay. Should just copy them over on. Do that. What? Oh, I reversed it, didn't I? Anyway, so that wouldn't work. So we do it the same then. Inside and middle. Inside and middle. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, inside and middle. There we go. A carpenter, but I work for a small company, so just muck in. We need to sort of thing. I was cutting tiles for the roofer today. Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I've only ever worked at small companies, really. I mean, I used to do contracting at bigger organisations, but yeah, I sort of know the drill, really. Of you know, you kind of got to do a bit of everything. But yeah, you got to look after your eyes, man. It's bit of a bit of a tricky one if you get eye problems. I had a mate actually. He had what do you call it? Macular degeneration. Which is, I think, I'll be totally honest, I'm not 100% sure exactly what that is, but something to do with basically these eyes essentially would get damaged, basically. I think like the retina disconnected or something. I can't remember. It's like, but basically it was very slow. So that needed to be that, didn't it? But eventually he would sort of lose his sight, essentially. And it was partly partly basically because he used to wear contact lenses, and like fell asleep in them quite a lot, and that sort of made it. I think it was, you know, genetic anyway, fundamentally, but that made it a lot worse. See, you gotta look after your eyes, man. Right, let's connect this to power and see what happens. Because a whole load of bots should stream in and drop off. Oh, except I didn't change it to requesting, did I? So they need to demand. That needs to demand. Nice design. Yeah, hopefully it'll work. I mean, I'm obviously building them all at level 1, so really this probably won't be what we eventually do. It'll all need upgrading, but I'm hoping. Here we go, loads of bots streaming in. I call them bots, it doesn't call them bots, does it? But whatever they are. It does look really good, this game. I think it's they've really nailed it. I don't know if you saw did they tweet it? I think I can't remember, but they posted up somewhere to introduce like I don't know how to put it, like musical notes to the game. Basically, there's like a new thing you can put on a belt, and it'll play a musical note. And I think the idea is it's meant to be a bit like the sirens in Factorio, but I think it looked like it was entirely linked to belts, and it didn't seem to have any logic, you know, like the circuit network side of it. But basically, you can set it so that it plays a particular note, and actually had it playing. I think it was a piece of classical music, but it's like 8 lanes of belts and gold cubes or yellow cubes flying along, moving along the belt, basically. Right, so this should be. There we go. So that's a full belt going in there. So we'll actually, well, let's blueprint it first. Oh, I can never remember how to do the blueprinting. Is that going to be... Yeah, okay. So we'll blueprint this. And then I'll just edit the... Because I don't want all of our resources going into magnets just yet. So, what we need to do is call it second impressions. And then / Logi. I can't remember what they're called. It's not... they're not magnets, but just call them magnet rings or something. I can't remember what they're called. Rings. Logi. And then we want that one. And then we want that one. And that one. I'll save that. What are they called? Mix it out like that. They're called magnet coils, not magnet rings. It doesn't matter though. But if I set this down here, like that. Then that should stop that just building a million things. Yeah, so if I edit that blueprint, magnet Coils. Coils. Cool. Right, so then we want an extender, basically. By which I mean we then copy this again, like this. Now, as it happens, it doesn't have a power thingy on it. You see what I mean? Some of this stuff I don't agree with, in a sense. So this blue box around here looks like that's what I'm recopying as the blueprint, but it's the actual blue tile. So the outer box looks like it's including this bit, but it isn't. It's only starting here. So why have they outlined it all the way out? I guess it's because that's what I selected, but I didn't select that. So it's like, it's a bit of a confusing way they've done it, to be honest. Missions. And this having to remember what all the file names are is a bit tedious as well. So I can't even remember what I called these. Magnet coils 2 or something? I don't know. Didn't matter. Magnet coils 2. And then we literally just give that icon. Now that won't properly work though, because, well, it doesn't matter. I can just rotate it around, but I've done them slightly differently. Oh well. Don't matter. Magnet coils 2, except I need to call it Logi. Logi. There we go. Right. Chaos arrived home. It's no problem. I mean, if you if you need to go because your eye as well, don't hang around here. Was that all I wanted to do? So I had hoped to do that one between streams, but didn't quite get the chance. Because we should make electric motors and the other bits. I'm not sure I want to mess about with them as such. What I would rather do is go and set up some automated interplanetary ones, which we should definitely have made by now. Where are they? Not up here. Over that way. Okay. Right, so I've flown past them. Do we have? Yes, we do. Here we go. Yeah, got 6 of them. Lovely. Oh, and I already had 10, didn't I? I forgot about that. I grabbed some. In fact, yeah. How many of them have I got? If I grab them, then I've got 10 of them as well. How many have we got over here? 10 there as well. Lovely. What about the actual drones? Oh, crikey. Yeah, loads of them. Right, let's take a bunch of them. So what am I going to need? I'm going to need belts. I'm going to need them things. Going to need more of those. So let's make some of them. Let's just make 10 of them. Because I'm going to set one up for silicon. And then 2 up for... No. Well... Yeah. So we want 1 here. Because we can do a local one as well. So perhaps... I mean, I could do both, couldn't I? Because this is basically full, I think. Yeah. I'm just thinking we maybe stick an international... I'm going to keep doing that. Interstellar one here. And have it request both the silicon and the titanium. And we can belt the titanium over. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll request silicon here. And what I'll do is just sort of link it in. Side load it on there? No, it won't let me. Why not? Because it's curving up. Okay, so we get rid of that and put it there. And then side load there. Yeah. So this needs to be requesting remote demand, local supply. We don't need 5,000. Let's just do 2,000. We want some of you lot in. Like, oh, they can only do 10, can't it? And local supply as well, yeah, that's fine. Titanium as well. Remote demand, local supply. Bit more of that, 4,000. Yeah, okay. And then we want an output like that. Oh no, of course you have to do belts, don't you? That confused the hell out of me the first time I was doing these. Yeah. That you couldn't output. That you had to use belts to come out of here rather than inserters. What happened there? Yeah, and then we'll have the other one. We'll have this. Be a bit of titanium. Which we will basically do the same thing on. No, let's... If we feed it into this chest. Like so. Okay, you're gonna not let me do that. Let's see if we can't go down. Yeah, there we go. So if we then feed in like that, because that's got that in the wrong place, but never mind. Put that there. But we'll chunk that down. Like that. So it's now requesting titanium and supplying it locally. Okay. So then we can go over to our chill for 5. Yeah, so don't, you know, I mean, it's great to have you chatting, but I don't feel you have to or anything. Right, so we need to... Do I want to feed it in there or replace that? Let you feed it in because it got a massive amount. I say I did do a load of trips back and forth. It's about 6, I think. Right, so what am I looking for? That, I guess. So apply it over here, a bit out of the way. Yeah, I think I'll feed it in. I don't think I've got the position right there, have I? Needs to be that one. Oh no. So then this one is going to request titanium. But not 1,000,000 tons of it. We'll have like 2,000 or something. And then with bots. And then we need to hop, skip and a jump this belt. That's up. Take it back down the ground level. No, don't do that. What? There we go. Are you powered? You're powered? Are you powered? No, you're not powered. Okay. I don't think you can get these close enough to power them. Is my memory? Oh no, you can. Okay. Cool. Okay. So that's going to request up the titanium from local. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we need to head over to. Well, I've actually technically got two, but this titanium planet and set that up, and then that's a bit more self-sustaining. Get my teeth in a minute. I don't really need anything, I think. No, just need we could chuck some more of them in and them, I guess, but I guess on the other end I need to decide whether I'm going to put them all into one, because they're quite close by, so it'd be easy just to put it all into one rather than move it around, but we'll see. Oops. Why am I not accelerating very fast? There we go. Drifting off. Oh, right. Let's go and find the power so we can juice up. Cool. No. Oh, yeah. Oh. Right, yes, so plan is to basically set up the reverse of that. So we'll set up a interplanetary logistic station. Here you go. So I've tapped that vein and that. I mean, this is the only vein here. So I'll plop it somewhere in the middle here and belt over. Now, as I understand it, you don't actually have to power both ends, but I'd like to. I mean, we could just stick it there next to that one, and then we'll belt this stuff over and belt this stuff over and just stick it in, and then the drones will take care of that job of moving the material around for us. I'm kind of expecting that we'll come to this planet and I'll plop down some of these other blueprints I've been working on, because what we kind of want to do is like mine the resources and only sort of move around, ideally a bit like Factoria really. We want to be making moving around the most dense material, so we kind of want to be moving around. Unfortunately, quite a lot of the things we want to make, we do need lower level stuff. So for example, I mean, I haven't got one for circuit boards. We could do that. That's relatively easy. But we will need to move iron plate around, because wherever we make sorters, we're going to need iron plate. The more compressed, the better. Yeah, exactly. I've been brave enough to hit a planet at full speed. Thought there might be fall damage. I mean, I didn't until I accidentally did it. Basically, what happened was and I've mentioned this before. I try to be quite careful with the amount of charge when you're flying around in the solar system, because for some reason, like moving left and right, you know, like is that pitch or yaw or whatever it is, you know, when you do that direction, it uses a heck of a lot of power. And basically, I set off on one trip and like used up basically the entire battery, just about, and it recovered a tiny little bit when I got close to the planet. And all I was able to do was just steer straight at the planet, and then basically I crashed into it, and that's when I realised there was no damage. Now, presumably, I mean, we mentioned, we talked before about, they're supposedly introducing combat. So presumably, old Icarus is going to have some kind of damage. And it does have a durability. And I think, actually, when you look at... because this is one of the things with the combat. I don't think most of the machines have durability on them. It could be a hidden stat, basically. So you see there's no durability equivalent, but you do have one. So presumably the combat is going to involve you, potentially getting damaged / destroyed. But no, your durability isn't affected by crashing into things. And you can bounce into, I don't know if you've ever done it, but you can bounce into black holes. So basically you can fly straight at a black hole and just crash into it, basically. And what it does, it basically bounces you out of the black hole, and it essentially, I mean, it's not quite warping, but it does this. It does it dumps you out at like a random distance away from the black hole. But people were saying that one of the things you could do with that, or the devs could do with that potentially, is use it as a transportation system. So basically, it could move you to a completely different star cluster or something. So you could have I suspect it'd be probably more like a mod would do this. But you could move to another star system, and yet another star cluster, using black holes, basically. Right, so we want to get stuff out here, don't we? But I've got lots of inserters already. Okay, so we'll take it out of this side, I think. But yeah, you can basically crash into anything and you're not damaged. Now, whether they will introduce that, I don't know, because it'd be a bit sort of punishing, I think. Oh, it's one tile off, isn't it? Oh, be a bit punishing to force you to have to fly into them properly. That might be a bit harsh. Or two fill it like that? No, not quite. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. That's full, isn't it? There we go. I mean, we don't actually need that much silicon, but let's say we might as well. Might as well, while we're here. Oh, I don't really need the local drones then, do I? So I have a bit of silicon. I'll do it twice as much as we've got on the other side. So hopefully the drones will kick in. And then the next one. I just grit my teeth. I was, yeah, I mean, I was a bit sort of, I thought, because you never know, I mean, you never know with these games whether, you're going to get destroyed or damaged, and if you do, what the actual punishment for that is. So, like, Satisfactory, you respawn, but, well, it's the same in Factorio, isn't it? But you end up with you leave your inventory where you died, basically. So you have to try and collect it, which obviously if you've died because, an alien has eaten you, then, or you've died in poison or something, then that can be... I mentioned satisfaction because I've died several times in that. Because that does have full damage. And had to basically load up, save scum essentially, because you can't... Because my items are irrecoverable, and there was something I had on me that basically I couldn't... It would be really expensive or really difficult to remake. So I think theirs is probably a bit too harsh. It's one of the reasons in that game I've sort of pushed on to getting the rifle, even though everyone says it's rubbish. But it's quite powerful, and if you can get the rifle, then you can kill pretty much everything pretty quickly. It's really expensive to use, but that was why I did that, because I died several times to beasties. I requested... Let's make that 6,000. Satisfaction can be harsh. Yeah, it's quite harsh, really, when you think about it. I mean, their aliens are a real... Particularly the... I hate the spider thing. I'm not that arachnophobic. I don't know... oh, I need to get rid of that. But, yeah, I wouldn't describe myself as arachnophobic as such. I mean, I don't like spiders, really. But then I don't like most insects. They're all gribbly and horrible. But they're stingers, I think they call them. They're really nasty. They've kind of distilled the essence of spidery nastiness down. And then there's the big ones. I don't know what they call them. But they are gross. They're really horrible designs. They look like a giant spider. With a face hugger attached on the top of them, and it's like, ooh. Which, I mean, that's their intent. They're not trying to make something nice, but they also have, they have the Arachnophobe Mode, which I say I'm not sufficiently disliking of spiders to play with that on, but it just replaces my pictures of cats, which is it's actually it's scary, but in a different way, because it's sort of disconcerting. Okay, so this appears to be doing stuff, and we got bots going back and forth. Cool. We should be able to see them in flight then. Can we follow them home? There you go. The next one we need to set up internationally is the gas giant, because that will give us almost unlimited hydrogen, and I think it's got fire ice and something else on it, actually. It's got something really useful from memory. Yeah, my assumption is that it's going to be the drones that get attacked in the combat. What did this have on it? Oh no, it's just fire ice. Okay. Actually, let's take that off. So, I mean, there's a lot of titanium, so we should be okay for a good while, and I got a lot of silicon, so it should just keep going. So, oh, I've nearly sucked my battery dry there. I say it's very easy to do that when it's this level, and now I've got only a tiny bit to point me at the planet. Because the other thing I managed to do was completely run out of battery and miss the planet. And you just keep going. It doesn't. There's no sort of fail mechanism that says, "Oh, you've gone outside your solar system. I'll take you back or respawn you or something like that." So you basically just have to wait until your battery is recharged, and of course, or enough that you can start sort of turning around, slowing down, or whatever. But of course, you've got all your momentum, so you just keep flying straight in the direction while this creeps up, and literally, because it's so expensive to turn, you just like a little like you know, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. Desperately. That I was panicking. I was like, you know, I don't want to get... Because I didn't know whether it was untenable, basically. I didn't know whether the amount of power it would take to turn me round and, you know, fly back was essentially... well, it's like a petrol thing, where you're saying, right, well, we've got enough petrol to drive 100 miles, but we are 110 miles away from the, you know, where we need to go, and we're continuing to drift, and we can... This analogy doesn't work. We can generate petrol at a slower rate than the extra distance that we're travelling. And I didn't know if that was how it worked, and so I was like, I may have to reload. And it doesn't autosave very... In fact, it does autosave, but it's... I can't remember what the distances are between it, but... times between it is, but yeah, that I did panic on. I was like, am I just now off into the interstellar void? Because the different solar systems are really far away. You can't... You just... Well, I mean, you could, but they're basically unflyable without warpers. Which obviously is deliberate. That's, you know, they've done that deliberately. The big shooty ones, yeah. Do you mean the... So there's... The big shooty ones are the... They fire 3 things at you. They're really difficult to deal with, because there must be some mechanism that it spreads them out in a way that will attack you, because sometimes you get hit by all 3, and other times, you know, it'll just be one that's off to the side. But they're another reason I got the rifle, because they don't take that many shots to kill with the rifle, and it's really generous with its hitbox, basically. You can be miles away and still kill it, basically. Which is good, because it's really expensive to fire the rifle. What I do like about it doesn't tend to... Once you've basically built something where the aliens are, it doesn't respawn them anymore. So you can actually just go and build some random structure in that area, and it won't respawn them then. So it's a bit like... you used to be able to do that with Factorio, where you would go out and you would just build a load of large power poles, and then the biters would never recolonize those areas, because they used to check around the colonization areas for player-made structures, and if there was something there, it would disregard it. But they realised people were basically cheating the system, so they don't do that anymore. But in fact, Satisfactory you do, so you can just basically clear that. I don't bother, because I quite like, unless I've actually built something there proper. But let's have a check at the other end, basically. And so, oh, there's a drone going off, so it must be working. And this is locally supplying. Awesome sauce. Cool. Cool. They have little face. Well, they're not quite faces, but they're basically... It's like little faces on the drones. I didn't even see that. Right. So, that's that sorted. So let us fire up a bit of research now that we know I'm not going to have to go flying back and forth. So, I don't think we can even do any of these because we're not doing purple yet. Yeah, we need other things. Do purple. So, we could do... Oh, no, we can't because we need Mecha Core 4. Yeah, need Mecha Core 4. But we could get a head start on some of these. Oh, no, it won't even let you read... Is that a change? Because I think you could research them before you even had that. But yeah, we can unlock these now without any particular worries. Not that we really need them. Can I do all of them? No, I can't. What about that one? In fact, why am I doing so many? Let's just do one. And one. These are now useful. Now that we've got drones doing stuff, you know, the engine and the carrier capacity are useful things to have. I think I can do one more. No, let's just leave it on that. But now that we've got the material coming in automatically, that's sort of fine, except for the fact that our research will now kind of grind to a halt because a lot of our patches are going to dry up. So we've got 250,000 with the iron, that's fine. But I think the oil's now... Oh, it's still producing stuff. Because didn't they nerf that it's not infinite anymore? So, should we continue designing some logistics things? Or should we get purple science up and running? Because if we're going to go to another solar system, then we need to be down here. Now, does that require any purple? So we don't need purple for that. These actually require the green things, don't they? Which aren't they from? Oh no, that's just the buffed. But I think we need them. You know, in a soft way, they're soft locked basically. Because we need strange matter. But that's all yellow. That's all yellow. Ah, there we start needing purple. You see, we can do a heck of a lot now. We can do like more than half the research tree. I'd quite like to get them, to be honest with you. And then we can at least get some fire ice on the go. Let's work on, I mean, I can't add them on anyway, but let's work on a few more designs. Have I got... Yeah. Okay. Where are we going to plot this? Let's plot one... over here somewhere. Any room? Oh, here we go. There's a bit of room. Lots of room. Lovely. Cool. I think I've saved where I have no fuel in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, horrible things. I say they've kind of... I think those ones in particular... What I didn't realise with the big shooty ones... And also, I mean, the smaller ones are the same. They don't have proper eyes. So they actually... And so apologies if I'm giving you some nightmare fuel here. But if you go out... If you actually look at the model... They have like... basically tentacles. But they're like loose... You know, they're not like... you know, muscle tentacles. So they flop around, but they basically, instead of eyes, they have tentacles coming out of them. And it's horrible. I mean, it's really nasty. And the heads obviously look like snakes as well. So that's another thing I know. It's like another common fear, as it were. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't... if you're not a fan, I wouldn't go and closely examine them. But I say, I never realised they had, you know, basically tentacles instead of hanging out of their eyes, essentially. Horrible. Right. Something I was reading actually on the Wikipedia, on the wiki entry for Satisfactory the other day was that because you can tame lizard doggos, you know the dog things, and I never bothered because I didn't know why that would be a... Obviously, you know, you might want a pet, you know, that's fine sort of thing, but there's no practical use to it. that I could see, but actually you can get them to find power slugs for you. Because there are tons and tons of power slugs in the game. But some of them are quite difficult to get to. But once you've tamed the one, a lizard dog, apparently you can get it to find, find things for you. So the question here, so the next one, the question basically is what do we do next? Now, what I'd done before, because we got a thing making stone and stone, or loading up stone and stone brick, because eventually we're going to need like chemical production, and sulfuric acid uses stone brick, so it's quite convenient to have that in some ports. So the question here is, do we go down the route of having stone brought to us, and because we could fly in stone, because I can do this. We could find a stone patch, there isn't one here, and we could load stone into the thing, and so it's available, and then we could send it out on one side to make like glass, and the other side to make the prisms. Or we could have, because prisms are made from glass, obviously, or we could have a glass one and a prism one that's a bit like the steel. Is it bringing in glass, or is it processing stone directly into prisms? I think I prefer the simplicity of having like one that's mining stone, turning it into glass, and then a separate one that's doing prisms. Because prisms become like really important from memory. They're used in some of the higher level things at quite high volume, and you suddenly start needing a lot of them. They're used in them, but I don't think you use a lot of them from memory. Okay, so let's find a stone patch then. And we'll have one making glass. We've got stone now. Yeah, let's go and stick one here. I hope we're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. Copper. Because the other question, you see, is whether we end up tapping out the planet. Because we do need to be a little bit careful. We have the others, so we could set up some complicated chains and stuff, but there is the possibility of essentially running out of stuff in our home system before we've got to the point where... oh, I'm already tapping that one. Where was this stone then? Before you can fly to a new system. It is difficult to do, but it's not impossible. Where was that stone? There's stone over there. Let's go over there then. Yeah, so it's not impossible. Am I going the right direction? Probably not. That's the stone there. There you go. Yeah, it's and in particular it's possible to run out of very specific things, so you can tap out all your iron or something. And then you're stuck. Because you can't deconstruct anything. And there's some resources you can't, there's no way of getting infinite stuff until you do. Where? Right, there's loads of stone over there. Yeah, so it's difficult to do, but you can do it. Right. So, we use this stone to make glass. Okay. So let's go with the same basic setup. If I can find them, there we go. Well, we'll plop this over here. In fact, let's get some landfill down as well. Yeah, so pop this down. like so. I've heard about the doggers and I probably should have tried that. I was big into Ark at one point. 3,000 hours. All before the kids were born. Yeah, I never really... I struggle a bit with, like, survival games. Mainly because basically I'm never that good at combat and things like that. And when you have like multiplayer survival games, where basically people could just wreck you, I just end up being the person that gets wrecked all the time. I say because I'm never that good at that sort of stuff. I really like. I mean, something like well, Valheim's obviously a more modern one, and that has a lot more of the in common with Don't Starve. I don't know if you've ever played Don't Starve, but I mean, I say basically Valheim is essentially sort of 3D Don't Starve, but I really enjoyed Don't Starve, and essentially adding in building mechanics to Don't Starve, like building mechanics like these sorts of games, was really good. So yeah, I say I always struggled survival games more, and also I mean they did one of the particularly clever things they did, I think, with Valheim was it's a survivor game, and you eat to survive type stuff, but you also don't. You don't actually need to eat stuff to survive. You just need it to give you buffs. So every one of those chores, as it were, of gather water, gather food, and all that sort, do cooking, that can get maybe a bit boring. They're always giving you a benefit. It's not it flips it round from you've got to do this to survive to you want to do this because it's massively beneficial to you. I was PvP back in the day, but kids are more PvE these days. If you play, so when you do the PvE on Ark, are there still, it's not just you versus the world, as it were. It's still multiplayer, but basically they disable, damage and stuff. Is that how they do it, or? Because the other thing to them, to be totally frank, and I know it is, a complaint, a criticism with these types of games, building and management type games, is that they get really complicated, particularly long-running ones. I don't know if Ark is a good example of this or a bad one, but where they keep adding systems because people are playing them for years and years. It's the reason I've never really played Minecraft is because you have to learn so much basically that it's daunting, and I because I'm not that familiar with the tropes of survivor games as such, so the whole punching trees thing is like less familiar to me than people who've played a lot of survival games, and so they kind of know instinctively almost exactly what they need to do, whereas me, it takes me a long time to figure it out. Whereas with games like this, having played loads of games where you turn iron ore into iron plate and those sorts of things, it's just I understand it from the get-go rather than having to work it all out. What the heck am I even making at this place? Oh, it was glass, wasn't it? Yeah, so I'll feed the stone in here. So we need to make glass. So what's the recipe for glass? In fact, if I'm making glass, I'm not even using them, which was dumb. So if we have that sort of a space, Will that fit through there? I don't think it will. No. So I need one more tile. So rather than there. There we go, there's glass. Yeah, there's online PvE, which you can't attack other players or their stuff. But there is a single player mode. Oh, there is a single player mode in Ark, is there? Okay. Because the big thing, as I say, for someone who's never played it, the big thing with Ark seemed to be the whole dinosaur taming thing. I don't know if that's I say that's a sort of an outsider's perspective on it, but it seemed very cool if that was, you know, a big thing of the game. But I think it's the base building and that sort of thing that I would really enjoy. I say a bit like Valheim, but as I say, the reason I quite liked that one, I didn't play a lot of it, but I'll definitely go back when they've done a few updates, is the fact that you could build, you know, entire villages and stuff like that. I love that sort of thing in games. You know, that type of sandboxing. I've put all of those belts going in rather than out. What a genius. Let's have that coming out there. Right. Get this right in a minute. Right. So, glass, recipe, timings. How does it look? So, it's 2 bits, 2 seconds. Vertical construction, lovely. 2 bits, 2 seconds. So each piece takes 2 seconds to make, so we're only going to get half of one a second, basically. So if we want to fill a belt, 6 seconds, we need 12 machines? 12 smelters, rather? Is that right? I think that's right. Right, so... Oh, no. Let's have that. 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 Is that going to work, though? Because how many bits of... Oh, yeah, but it's 2... So if it's two, but if it's 2 bits... If it's 1 bit a second, makes half a bit of glass. Yeah, then that's fine. Yeah, okay. So what's that one? Is it 12? Oh, it's 12 machines total, but not on one side. So do that there. Copy that. So this shift drag is awesome. They've really knocked it out of the park with that. But blueprinting, not so much. What about the dino taming? Base building was my major role within the tribe. When I was PvT, as I was bad at PvP combat. But I was also okay at finding high-level good tames. Okay. So the dinosaurs are like tiered, are they? Basically, it's like you know, I don't know if is it proper dinosaurs or not, but you know, like a T-Rex is a better dino tame than a something else type of thing. The other question is, you don't have to answer this one, but is Ark the one where you can throw your poo? Is that one? Because I know there's one where you can, rather famously... I've deleted that. I didn't mean to delete that. What I'm trying to do, I need to add in another power pole here, basically. So it's slightly off. If I... No, not Control V. Do that. Right. So it should be there. And then if I just turn it round, same thing. Yeah. Get rid of that. And then, oh. Why are you not connecting? There you go. Don't think I really need that, you know, that many power poles, but it's fine. You see, what I'd like to do, and how the blueprinting should work, is like Factorio, where basically I hit Control C, I can grab all of that, and I guess I can use. Can I use the use now actually? If I just hit use now, do that. So if that's, because is it going to turn this into a blueprint though? I don't. You see, I don't want it as a blueprint. I just want it as a temporary copy. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? So, because there's 1, 2, 3 bits about. 1, 2, 3 bits about. Oh, 3 bits about. But as that turned that into an actual blueprint? Oh no, it hasn't. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's okay then. Is it in the right place? We've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. Do that. Do that. That. Do. Cool. Okay, so pop some drones in. We want to. Do we want to demand stone? I guess we want stone and we want glass. Do we want to demand it? Probably not. Probably. Let's just put it as storage for the time being. Yeah, poop throwing is in Ark. There's a new big baboon thingy that uses that as a weapon. Oh, right, crikey. I assume it gives like toxic damage or something like that, does it? It's one of those sorts of mechanics. Let's just put some random... No, you're not going to let me put that there? Okay. Don't let me put that there. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. What's there? Oh, I guess I should blueprint it before though, shouldn't I really? So I don't have them in the thing, but that does mean I'm going to have to set these to... There we go. Why does it keep... There we go. Right, and let's blueprint it then. Like... Oh, no. There we go. No? Yeah, it's got them by accident. Okay. No? There. No. Okay, so this is second impressions. Logi. Glass. Smelting. Logi. Glass. Smelting. And then 2 by 1. Like that. And like that. Save. Oh, have I missed? Must have misspelt that. Yeah, I've misspelt that. Oh, I put an S on the end. Or missed an S. Okay. Okay. And then we want basically this, but excluding that. And that'll be, so it's a second impressions. No. Glass smelt. Two. Do I want Logi on it? I can't remember. It's quite easy. That is quite easy to change, the editing file names and stuff. I quite like that. Now I've done that. Something like that. Glass smelt. Oh no, it's just glass, I think. Glass. Two. Something like that. Somewhat like that. Obviously the other one's in the in the thing. The wrong folder. But yeah, you can move them over quite quickly. I just can't be bothered to do it just yet. Right, so we want that going in there, that going in there, and oops, that joining up, say there, and that going round there. That's a very long way round. Why don't I instead take you round to here? And that. Why have I joined that there? Let's have it done. In there. Right, let's power it up. So while dinos have levels on online, the levels go from 5 to 150, crikey, at 5 levels at a time. 150 Rex Wild would kill most things, but it's possible for a 150 Carno to kill a level 5 Rex. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's just it's a scaled classes thing basically. I think the baboon poopies were added damage to tech structures. All right, or something stuff we build is tiered. Tech is the highest tier. So what's the sort of end point of Arc? I mean, is there a, like for example this, it's researching this technology, although you can continue, but that's mission complete, that's the end of the game. Or Factorio, it's launching a rocket, although again that's kind of not really the end of the game. But is there sort of a goal, as it were, of Arc? Do you a bit like, I guess the question is like, I think in Minecraft, I'll say I'm very much from a point of ignorance here, but there's like a place you can go essentially in Minecraft where that is kind of the end of the game, as it were. Because it's like hell or something, effectively, isn't it? Something like that. I mean, it's big bosses to fight. Okay, so it's basically like you conquer all the bosses, sort of thing. So it sounds like Valheim's probably copied that then, because in that game you obviously fight a set of bosses, to basically go through the levels essentially. So it sounds like they probably copied that. I wonder why that's not producing quite as much. Cargo stacking 2. Lovely jubbly. Is this making glass? It is. It's not quite a full belt, but then there's the stone is, you know, pooling in the earlier machines. It's taking a little while to get down there. There we go. So it should start to, there we go, properly full now. Ish. The ish is fine. Yeah, there we go. Yep, that's all working fine and dandy. So let's put some limits on the amount of glass we've got. We don't need 1,000,000 tons of that necessarily. Cool. Right, let's build our prisms. Where are we going to put that? We'll put it over here. Oh, we're right next to... Oh, okay. Let's pop it in here. So, let's just line that up, actually. Although it was a bit weird at that high altitude, wasn't it? At high latitude. Can we go over here, maybe? Let's do it here. There we go. This will do. Avoid this discontinuity of the lines. So, pop that there. Chuck a bit of landfill in. There's about 9 or 10 bosses, I think, and to fight most of them, normally it takes a lot of preparation for each one. Right. Do you do? I don't know if art counts as one, but I don't know if you're an MMO player at all. I never really got into it back in the day because I tended to find... Oh! Oh, it's copied over all of that stuff. Okay, that's not good. No thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. So I never really got into MMOs, but there was obviously that Amazon, wasn't there? One, what's it called? New World, that launched pretty recently. People seem to go nuts for it to start with, but it seems to have sort of died off, basically, in terms of interest, I think. So what am I actually going to make here? I'm going to make prisms. Especially when online in single player, you can adjust the settings to make it a bit fairer. Okay. Might have to give it a go then if there's a single player version. I didn't appreciate that. I'd always sort of assumed it was a, you know, sort of multiplayer only, really. Because I suppose, but then I didn't know about the bosses because I always thought, you know, the goal of it was effectively to, you know, dominate other players in a sense of, you know, being the biggest baddest thing on the planet type thing. I say if there's actual, you know, a set of bosses to I say like Valheim where you know, you kill them off and that's you winning. I mean, you can't finish that game yet properly because there's more to come, but so it sounds like a similar sort of idea. So we need, that's a weird ratio, isn't it? It takes 2 seconds to make 2 of them, but requires effectively 1.5 bits of sheets of plastic. Okay. Per thingy. So I guess it's the same pattern again, really, then. So my sort of anticipation with these is that we'll be doing, you know, more, well, like I was saying earlier, like denser material moving around. And that I'll use these predominantly, because it's what I did first time I played too. Use these to process the lower level stuff and then send them over into the international ones. International. I don't know again. Just take it as default that I'm going to keep saying international, I think. And that they'll move more, more dense materials around. So, I bet that's the wrong way around, isn't it? That belt. So we'll avoid moving copper, for example, as much as we can, like across planets and stuff, between planets and stuff, because it's just not really worth it, and the demands for it become so high that your drones struggle to keep up. That's a bit close, isn't it? I hope these blueprints work, like when I put them down at different latitudes and stuff. And I've put the belt the wrong way around again. Right, we want to come out of the machine. I'm actually going to not put it so tight, I think. So, if this is our arrangement, is that going to work? So we're going to make prisms. Oh, I need to compensate for the thing anyway, but we need 1.5 every second. And a yellow inserter does 1.5 per second. Okay. The question then is, what does that mean in terms of belts? So if we're trying to fill an entire belt with prisms, we do get 2 out. So, but it's 1 per second effectively. So we need 6 machines. And we would need to feed, because it's 1.5 to 1, you see. So we've got 6 machines. So it's outputting 2. I think I have to offset these ones, don't I? Because a yellow inserter will only do 1. So there's that consideration. I can't do the maths in my head. It's obviously been a long day. So I need 1.5. No, I'm only making 1 belt. So I need 1.5, but I've got 2 belts of supply. So that's fine. That's not a problem. But we need 6 machines. Except we don't. We need a quarter more again. Which means we need... Oh, it's that number again. It's 7.5, isn't it? Or 9, rather. Which is uneven. So we need sort of 4 and 5, basically. Okay. I can't do 4, though. Because the power poles don't reach. Or can I? Is that the sort of limit? Let's have a look. So we've got another one. Will the power poles reach? Yeah, that'll do. I think I'm not too fussed about maxing this one out because of the offset and stuff, so I think I'll go with... Oh! I think I'll go with... Are you going to play ball if I drag you? Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to do on the other one, but it wasn't quite... It was doing weirdness. Right, let's paste that in again there. If I try, can I stream it? Yeah, I mean, possibly. Not to backseat. I don't actually have any problem with people backseating. To be totally honest, I'm of sufficient age and wisdom and honouriness that if I'm not interested in, you know, so I don't have any fundamental. I don't mind people backseating, particularly for games I'm not that familiar with. If you see what I mean. But if it gets, you know, I'll just ignore you. Basically, is what I'm saying. Because as you've seen, I don't have any. I sometimes go into a zone anyway, and I sort of don't really look at the chat properly. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sort of, I say I'm sufficiently sort of robust from that point of view that I'll basically just filter you out. I'm not interested, but it wouldn't be. Yeah, I wouldn't. Something like that. I say Survivor games. It's something I'm sort of. I've you know, I really enjoyed Don't Starve, and you know, Valheim. I really enjoyed the base building thing they added to it. But yeah, I mean, can you set up like because it might, if you know, thinking about that, might even be worth you sort of you know, playing together in a sense. But I don't know. I mean, it's something I think about, but I've kind of got too many series on the go at the moment already, so it wouldn't be any time soon. Certainly after I finish this playthrough, which is going to be quite a while. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. So it's that one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, don't tend to. So I do have. In fact, it might actually be better doing it that way because, I say, I do sometimes. I think I said this before. I'm not necessarily, in a sense, a big fan of. Other way around. There we go. Playing games on stream, I'm not familiar with. So having someone to give me tips and advice and stuff might actually be a better way to go about it, really. I say, especially not being that familiar with that type of genre of game. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Right, so I've flipped that round, haven't I? So it needs to be like that. Is that in the right place? Yeah, that works, I think. So let's see if we can get this working. Yeah, okay. So let's connect it to power, which would be over here somewhere, I guess. And we want to request up some glass, but not like a million tons of glass. Let's do, although it's quite heavy, it's 10, no, it's 5,000. So we do half a thing. And we want to put them in. I want to put the bots in. And then we want to turn that to demand. And off they pop. The hosted personal servers are a bit bad. Other players are tethered to the host. All right, and the proper servers cost money. And going online PvE can be dicey for a new player and someone with kids. So that's, I mean, let's say that's why I've never. I say the reason I don't tend to play a lot of the survival games is they're either single player, and you know, quite grindy, if I'm honest. But they don't tend to have, you know, I say, having played one I really enjoyed, I'm sort of satisfied with that in a sense. Or they're online, you know, and basically I just get destroyed immediately. You know, I've punched a tree and I'm already dead, sort of thing. And that's just not very fun. Yeah, certainly give it a go. I mean, I'll certainly look into it anyway. Why is nothing? Oh, I didn't set the blooming things, did I? What a plonker. So we need glass. We need glass. We need glass. We need glass. Are you going to make me some prisms? So this won't be a full belt. Be close, but it won't be full, I don't think. Unless I've completely messed up my maths. Because it should just be sort of one short, so we might see sort of the occasional one. We're not though, are we? That's interesting. Because if we 6, and then if they work at 3/4 speed, you need a quarter again. What's a quarter of 6? It's 1/2. Oh no, it's 3/4. In fact, so there's more than enough. That's too much production, really. It would only be 1 extra, and I've put 2 on. Okay, well, 1.5, and I put 2 on. Okay, that's cool then. Right, so let's blueprint this one up. See there. So this is second impressions. Oh, it's 10 to 7. Okay. And we'll go Logi. Prisms. What have I called the higher level ones? Don't know. What manufacturing? So we've got Logi. Prisms. Manufacturing. Change the icon to that and that. Save blueprint. There it is. Right, and we also need. I don't know if. I don't want to reset it really, do I? Let's do that. No, it doesn't work. Let's do it again then. Oh. Carry capacity level 1. Lovely jubbly. So what we want this time is this. Taking that out. Cool. Right, so this then is second impressions. Oh. Impressions. Slash Logi, Logi prisms. Ooh. And it's Logi prisms. Ooh. Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh. Oh, you can fully stack the odds in your favour or the settings before you even start. Like in an easy mode. Cool. Mainly so you can concentrate on parts of the game you like. That's good though, it's that flexible. I know there's but if you've ever played Astroneer? I'm not getting that mixed up with something else, am I? No, I think it's Astroneer, where you are literally an astronaut and you land up. You're on the planet, and you can do all sorts of building and all that sort of stuff. But they've kind of, and obviously there's mods. There's always mods, but they've actually said they don't want to offer. What they want to do is produce like a curated experience, where it's like. This is the game, so you can't really do a lot of fiddling about, with different things. And when they discover exploits is the wrong word, but things that people have done, that sort of aren't in their model of how they want the game to be played, or things that people would have been saying they want to be introduced and things like that, and they've basically said no, then they're not interested in doing that sort of stuff. I think it's good. It's good to let people play the game, or focus on the bit of the game that they like / want, as it were. Played it for an awful long time. I quite like it. It's a bit sort of cartoony in a way that's not. I didn't find it visually that appealing. I mean, it's okay in terms mechanically, but it's a bit sort of. It feels like you're playing with. If Factorio and Satisfactory and this are playing with Lego, then Astroneer feels a bit like playing with Duplo. You know, like it's like big chunky blocks of things. But mechanically, it's okay. There's another one that's like really cute called Autonauts, and I think that's put a lot of people off it. I don't think people will even consider it because it just looks like it does look like a kid's game, but it's actually really complicated. And they've gone. The reason they've gone full cutesy in Autonauts is because it's like you have to understand programming, like the logic of programming, like Boolean operators and stuff, in order to get, because you build bots, Autonauts, you build robots to do all of the jobs for you. So it's a bit like, you know, a logistic system, but they can do really complicated behavior, particularly when you get up to level 4. I think there are 4 levels, might just be 3 bots, where you basically give them more memory and stuff, and they can do like really complicated behaviors, and it's like you basically program them to play the game for you in a sense. So you're like some sort of mastermind controlling it, but because that's not going to appeal to a lot of people, I think they figured, right, well, we'll make it a cute game, and then that'll seem that's a bit more disarming, that it's not, you know, learn how to programming in a game, basically. It was cute from what you remember, yeah. I say it's like, I say they're trying to, I say it's a particular style, and I didn't mind it, but they're trying to go for that. You know, we're not a hard game. You know, and look at us. You know, we don't look like a hard game, but actually, you know, there is a lot of sort of complexity to it. But yeah, as I say, they've gone down a route of saying, you know, this is the game. We're not interested in, if people want to mod it, that's up to them, sort of thing. But you know, we're not interested in letting people tweak the settings too much, basically. In fact, at all. I'm not sure you can at all. Well, you couldn't when I played it anyway. Right, so we're basically up till end of the stream. We've been chunking away on some of these. I have not really properly made a decision on whether I'm going to shift our focus over to, you know, getting up to here, basically. Because we obviously do need to do it all. But I don't know whether I should, you know, keep going with the research that I've got on this, you know, in this solar system. Because we do have quite a lot of resources from memory. That's the wrong button entirely there. No, what are you doing? No, not X. What's the V? There we go. You know, there is quite a bit of stuff kicking about in this solar system. You know, we've got 4.3 million iron there, and then this one's got loads of copper. Yeah, 5.4 million copper, 9 million silicon, 15 million or 14.5 million titanium, 2.3 stone, 2 million stone there. Not so much in the way of coal on either of them. How much coal do we have here? Oh, we've got 7 million coal here. So yeah, so I don't know that we need to go to another solar system and do stuff. We could, you know, there are some that are fairly close. 2 light years isn't that far away. That's a couple of warpers to get across to there. Reaching in 40 minutes. There you go. 56 minutes. You know, got quite a nice cluster here that we could start branching out on. But it's basically about how far I want to go up the tech tree, basically, before, you know, do I focus on going to another star, basically, or do I focus on the, you know, the end game and only exploit them when we need to? I'll have to have a think about that. But there's plenty more blueprints to make, I think. Because what have we got now? We've done them. I suppose technically I haven't done blueprints for those, but I could always just take the copper and change the recipe, basically. So really we need to get these two in particular up and running. And then we could also do circuit boards. One of the reasons for wanting to go to another solar system is basically that even though we do have, you know, tons of stuff on the other planets, when you go to the other solar systems, it distributes them a bit more evenly, and the numbers are bigger, particularly if you go quite a long way away. Don't know how far you went, Grim, but basically, you know, this has, you know, an abundance of iron, not very much at all copper. So if we did go to this, we could set up, you know, the iron producing system, you know, like the gears and all that sort of stuff. But you soon get into needing both iron and copper. You know, with circuits and the magnets, and well, it's got quite a lot of iron on it. But the further planets out, basically they're like 50 million iron and, you know, 30 million copper sort of thing. So you can build a nice big, proper foundry type planet, and just make, you know, have a planet making motors basically. So it's sort of easier. But of course we get over there. Yeah, so something to think about. So I'm guessing I will probably play a bit more of this during the week, and probably put in a few more of these. Certainly the basic ones. What we'll do next stream, I think, is maybe some of the chemical stuff. So the you know, chemical labs making plastic and that sort of thing. We'll then be in a position really to start properly exploiting everything, or as I say, heading over to a new solar system and sort of almost starting again. Because what we basically want is some production to make like higher level belts, because we've unlocked the maximum level belt. We've not unlocked. I mean, we could do that, for example. We've not unlocked the next level assembly machine. But we've kind of got all the basic machines. So we want somewhere to make those for us, because hand making the number of chemical plants we're going to need is going to be a bit tedious. So we want to be able to make all of them. And you see, I've got steel, I've got stone, I've got iron, I've got glass, but I've not got circuits. You know, and I've not got circuits again there. Not got circuits. So we can kind of make everything apart from, we haven't got circuits, and we haven't got the two motors and the, you know, the whatchamacallits, whatever it calls them, turbines or whatever. I thought so. Those use the magnet things, basically. You know, we got all of we could make them, and, you know, essentially switch our production over to logistics-based production rather than the, you know, mall style thrown together stuff. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on and on. So that's it for today. If you have been watching, thanks for doing so, and I hope you enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. I will be back on Friday with some Satisfactory. Little bit fingers crossed on that, because the rubbishness of my day I was talking about earlier probably means that I've got a hell of a lot of work to do the rest of this week. But it should be okay Friday afternoon. It should either be done, or I may have to cancel my weekend and work the weekend instead, in which case I'll just stream on Friday anyway. But basically, yeah, be back on Friday with some Satisfactory. Speaking of which, I need to do some bits in that. I forgot about that. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll be picking up the No Spoon. Fingers crossed, maybe we'll get the No Time for Chit Chat. And then it's a case of refining down the design so that it's a bit more simple to build and a bit less spaghetti mess. And then we'll have a go at the actual achievement. Yes, so if you have been watching, I say thanks for doing so, and I will hopefully catch you in another one. Again, thanks, Grim, for popping in. And say, I'll have a think about the ARC thing. It's probably not going to happen until maybe after this series. But well, what I find with Dyson Sphere Program, it like ramps up as you get more and more stuff down. Particularly now that we got blueprints. So yeah, hopefully it will proceed okay. Yeah, so I say thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in another one. Cheers.